Questões para o Mr. José Mourinho. Começamos aqui pelo...
Questions for the manager, Jose Mourinho. Good evening, Jose Mourinho. Can you make an analysis of this game, and then I'm going to ask you, what are your lessons from the future after today? My analysis is the same as everyone. I did TV for France, England, Portugal, Italy, and every 5 countries. The 5 journalists that I did interview, they started in the same way, saying that Benfica did a great game. I think so. I said to the players, because that's also my mindset. Well, a defeat is always a defeat. If we lose and we play awful, it's different than a defeat when you play well. We did play well. However, this does not translate into points. There's different ways to lose. The way that we lost today here, he cannot be an attack to our trust, to our growth. On the contrary, it can be the foundation of a build up. Chelsea is undoubtedly the best team of the four that I've played since I'm a manager of Benfica. With all due respect, better than Rio Ave, Gil Vicente, better than Aves. And this is the best game that Benfica did perform. Benfica did a consistent game, solid. It was balanced tactically wise, emotionally wise. We did create chances. We had some different and good positive ways of releasing the pressure. We played versus a tough team. They have individual qualities. They have different tactical schemes, especially attacking wise. So I believe that Benfica had a very positive game. We are frustrated with the final result, with the defeat. However, I think that this is a foundation for an important build up for the future.
Something from that game.
Yes, no doubts. We started well, we controlled well, we had, I don't know if I can say big chances, but we had chances for sure. The goal is probably the only little mistake that we made defensively. I think Rios and Dedic, they both closed the same area, and they left Garnacho wide to put the ball on the face of the goal. But even so, the team was very stable, was very confident, and was permanently pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. In the last period, I've tried to play fresh people. I tried to play a second striker. I tried to play a new left winger. I saw Malo Gusto in difficulties, but then Maresca has Malo Gusto in difficulty. He changed for a better player than Malo Gusto. This is Chelsea squad that allows them to do that. But I'm there for 10 days. I played 4 matches in 10 days, so everything was travel, play, recover, travel and play. Not much development training. But today I'm really happy. 2 days ago I was happy with the victory, but today the performance I liked very much.
No points to take home, but a memory, a lovely reception as you expected from the Chelsea fans.
Yeah, but I don't feed myself with these memories. I feed myself with victories and results. Of course, I thank them. I did it on the pitch. Of course, I was focused on the game, but you have always a little bit of the sound. And of course, I thank them. You know, I live around, and when I am in London, I meet them every day on the street. I know that is going to be a relation forever. Hopefully, I come back here in 20 years with my grandkids, and they belong to my history, and I belong to their history.
José Mourinho, boa noite. Henrique Mateus, da TV da CNN de Portugal.
My question: what can you take as positives from tonight, and what can you learn from it for the future? Starting from the guest match versus Porto. Well, we must score. If we don't score, we don't win. We spoke about it whilst we prepared the game. We spoke about the situation. In order to win here, you must be defensive, you must be solid, you must be well balanced. You cannot allow the game to flow so much because they are very rapid. They are more rapid in the bench. They changed Garnacho, they put Gittens and so on. So it was important, everything. We had to score, we didn't. We had our chances. I still didn't see on the screen. I'm not sure if it's big or small, but at least I can say that we had chances. We had a good ball control. We did release well from the pressure from Chelsea. We did play inside, in the middle. And then we tried to put refresh energy. Sheldrup on the left, Ivanovic on the right side. He struggles to play on the wing, but I had to take off Luke Bakio, and I was thinking about someone fresh, even though if it's not the natural position, but I thought that a fresh player would bring something new. Our players, they were excellent because three midfielders with yellow cards in the game, mainly with counter-attacks, is very difficult to play with three players with yellow cards. I did take off one, and I remained two. And Barreiro was my risking substitution to try the counter-attack. We did try to win the game. We must score. However, I don't want to say senseless things, but in my opinion, João Pedro, he should be excluded before. I think in that situation versus Otamendi, when you have a yellow card, you should not even risk to take that action. I think if he had a red card in that possibility, that would not be surprised. And if they were strong at that moment, if they were versus 11 and with 10 man, well, you did see what happened in the last game versus Brighton. However, I'm not too sure what I'm saying about this situation of João Pedro with Otamendi.
Came here. How much is your desire, how great is your desire to still win matches, to still achieve things? You came here and won everything, virtually. You've won everything in your career. For you, how great is that desire, that determination?
It's bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger because when I come, nobody was waiting for anything from me. You remember, lots of question marks. Is he going to do it? Not to do it? My career took me to a position where everybody thinks that I have magic to make things happen. I left Man United after winning things. I left Tottenham after taking the club to a final. I left Roma after 2 European finals. Because with me, it's never enough. It's never enough. So if I am in the job, it's because I like to put myself on the line every day. I have fantastic family, but they know how I am, and they push me outside. They know that I need to work, so I'm desperate to win the next match. That's the nature of the thing.
Boa noite, José Mourinho. Bruno Valério para a RT.
Good evening, Mourinho. Before the match, you said that you would be here chasing points. Despite the results, despite the performance, you are not winning today. Considering the next couple of games, the fixtures, the opponents are superior to Benfica, what are your expectations about chances of Benfica to qualify for the next phase? And another question, I'm not sure if it was last game or two games ago, you said Barreiro looks like the granddad in the bench. So for games of this dimension, do you believe the players, your team need more experienced players that can bring something new to the game? I think if you have a bench with lots of youngsters, has its advantages. It has its challenges, and all big players at some point they were young. I'm always happy to put youngsters to play. However, your question has a logic. Like I said, Malagusto was struggling and Rhys James came on. Garnacho was struggling and then they did switch on to Gittens. We were a bit limited. Of course, if you had Ba, Manu, we can say two players that are potentially likely to be able to play. They provide a different balance. Now we are starting October, 3 months of the season. So think about the market to help the group. It's not the manager to think. The manager should think in what is its mission. And we have young players, we have players with capacity. About the other question, the draw was quite tough for Benfica. We had 3 points that we was a must-win game versus Karabakh. The first game we lost, and now we are in a position of 2 games, 0 points. The next game is yet again as a away game against a Premier League team with great potential. And then yes, you are right. Well, you are not totally right because you said teams much better than Benfica. And well, one thing is the potential of the team, and a different thing is a fantastic potential of Newcastle, Napoli, Real Madrid, all these teams that we will expect to play. However, today we played versus a great team, and Chelsea was not even better, far better. I think the game was absolutely divided. We played on Chelsea's eyes. If we increase our confidence levels and with hard work, I believe that we can compete versus any team. We lost 6 points. To think about direct qualification, I believe is extremely hard. However, let's go match after match, point after point, and we'll see what we can achieve to qualify or not. And I believe that we can actually qualify.
Positions and scoring goals tonight.
Não, desculpe, foi em inglês ou em português que ele fez a pergunta?
Em inglês,
Did you speak in English?
Yes.
Can you a little bit louder, please?
Did Benfica feel the absence of Kerem Aktürkoğlu?
The mic, please.
Sorry, did Benfica feel the absence of Kerem Aktürkoğlu in terms of position and scoring goals tonight?
No, but Kerem is not here anymore. No, Benfica did a good job to bring Luka Bakio. Luka Bakio is a good player. Luka Bakio, no pre-season, injured, important injury in the calf. Is the second game plus some minutes. Is coming. Today had a difficult match against a player that is very aggressive and very fast defending. Cucurella is really a tough opponent, but Luka Bakio is a good player. So forget Atukoglu.
Bola.
Boa noite, José Mourinho.
Good evening, Jose Mourinho. After Gil Vicente match, you stated that the team was exhausted and for that purpose, that would lose their identity. The players, what they did today, you see this is a proof of personality and maybe you are more confident for the future. I think so. The difference between 2-3 days is fundamental. If you play a game or 2 games, 2 days, 2 days of resting, it's not a drama. However, when it's a cycle of 4 games without 2 games of resting, Well, it's not me saying it. Experts, scientifically wise, it's proven. It's tough. It's tiring. So when you start to play under the fatigue, it's not the best, and this is happening to us. So we had 3 days to recover, and this provided a different freshness for this game tonight. We had a fantastic support from our fans. We really, really felt the support. And you know, Stamford Bridge is a traditional stadium. We didn't hear that much Chelsea fans, and Benfica managed to create even from outside to the pitch, so the players felt comfortable to play here. And you did see how the game did develop. I think we must for sure increase the confidence levels. Even Rios, who was unlucky to score this on goal, I start to understand him a bit better. He's a player that when he goes deeper, he has a lot of quality in short spaces, small spaces. He needs space to play. He's a player that goes to the attack. Is someone that is able to go and finish at the other box. Is good recovering balls. However, he's been criticized because of the number that he has on his jersey, the amount of money that he did cost. The 3 midfielders, they had yellow cards. I think today was a proof of capacity. They played well. I cannot say that I'm happy because we will have 0 points. However, I can take some positives from today. Good evening, Rafael Soares. I'm not sure if you agree. Maybe it's the best game of Benfica since your arrival.
Tinha a ideia que o Benfica
When Bujalaze was, maybe Benfica was more comfortable to play when he's not favorite. Do you believe in this logic? Do you agree with this idea that Benfica is more comfortable in this kind of games? And rapidly, I want to ask you, do you know anything about Antonio Silva since he came off injured? Antonio is off. He got injured. However, he was able to walk. However, in these kind of situations, even though he's recovered, but at the pitch, when he has this kind of dizziness, more important than the game was the physical state of Antonio Silva. He did send us a sign, so it's not dramatic because it's a position that we have good players to come on and play, such as Tomás Araújo. So that would not be major issues to recover. And I don't even think that we can say that Antonio Silva is injured. What was the other question? About... Yeah. Oh, we think I'm more comfortable to play in these kind of games. Well, the other day I said an expression, and I think it was something like, we are not a team that with great presence, great dimension in the box. Maybe when we play versus team who are always at the back deep, Benfica is more used to have the ball, circulation of the ball. Benfica is a team that always search for solutions. Maybe I can say it that way. However, today we were very solid defensive-wise, very balanced. We did not give Chelsea many chances to go in counterattacks. Maybe I would say 3 or 4 dangerous. And Chelsea, of course, has better players than Gil Vicente. Chelsea didn't manage to create much dangerous situations because we were balanced. Maybe I would say it's because of the thinking about the Champions League. I think it's a positive sign when you for the next couple of games to go to Newcastle, Amsterdam, and even Juventus, to think that we can reach points and to compensate the 3 points that we lost, especially in Karabakh. Thank you.